Welcome everyone. If you have not watched the introductory video yet, welcome to Finance 389. My name is Dr. Chris Whaley. I will be your professor for the course. These first few videos here in Unit 1 are all about Excel basics. It's going to be broken down into 4 individual workshops, as I have called them. But this is really designed to give people who it's been a while since you've worked with Excel or you don't have a lot of familiarity with Excel, to give you sort of some confidence in doing the things that we'll be doing here for Finance 389. If you are an Excel expert or you feel like you have a very good grasp on Excel, you may just kind of want to quickly skim through these videos, making sure that you can kind of do what I'm asking you to do, or you can look at the accompanying Excel spreadsheet that comes with this unit. If you can do all the things in there, then you should be pretty good. But for those of you who need a little bit of a refresher, let's go on and get started. So like I said, in this workshop, what we'll do is we will, having trouble getting my slides to advance, there we go. We're really here in workshop number 1, we're really going to focus on these first 2 objectives: understanding spreadsheet terminology and navigating through a worksheet and a workbook. So this is going to be real basic, sort of touch on just some general vocabulary as they relates to Microsoft Excel. So Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application, and a spreadsheet is basically any kind of computer program that deals with grids of rows and columns. Now, rows and columns, when they intersect, they form what we would call a cell. And so a cell is a unique data point within a spreadsheet because it has a unique location in terms of its row and its column. There's only one intersection that has that row vector and that column vector. So a row, for example, is a horizontal set of cells. It goes from left to right. A column is a vertical set of cells that go from top to bottom. So again, when you have the intersection of left to right to top to bottom, that's going to be one identifying location, one unique location, which we call a cell in this case. And so it's a very robust platform for organization, for data manipulation, and for all the things that we'll be doing here in this course. Now, data can be stored within these cells, but in a lot of cases, spreadsheets utilize what are called formulas. And formulas are basically little bits of code that the user puts into some of these cells, and they can do any number of things, right? It's an expression that needs to be calculated. And so within Microsoft Excel, any formula will start with the equal sign. That designates to Excel that this is a non-data point, that something needs to be done. And these formulas can reference values, they can reference other cells, they can deal with more explicit functions, and so they can handle a lot of different things rather than just storing data. And what we'll utilize a lot of in this class are what are called functions within Excel, and these are pre-built formulas or built-in formulas that Excel already has stored in its memory so that you're not having to write out these very complex formulas. I'm sure you've had experience with this before. People will use the sum function or the average function. These are all functions which, again, are pre-built formulas within the Excel software. Now, a little bit of splitting hairs here. When people refer to a spreadsheet, what they're actually talking about is what's called a worksheet. A spreadsheet is a worksheet within a workbook. A collection of worksheets or spreadsheets form a workbook. So when you save a Microsoft Excel file, you're actually saving a workbook file. And that workbook is going to contain at least one worksheet, or spreadsheet as we call it. And like I said, that's pretty trivial, but it lets you sort of get the feel for the level of organization that you can have within Excel, right? I told you earlier that a cell within an Excel worksheet or spreadsheet has one unique location. but you could have multiple worksheets with the same row and column reference. So we're sort of adding more and more complexity when we introduce the idea of worksheets versus workbooks. So here in the lecture slides, this gives you just a nice little screenshot of an Excel spreadsheet that I took. But let's actually pull one up and we can get a feel for some of the things that I've been talking about. So here is an Excel spreadsheet that, I don't know where I got this from. It's sort of trivial at this point. And so what you see, let's start looking down here. Down at the bottom, we're first going to look at this distinction between workbooks and worksheets. So if you look down here, you see that this active worksheet that I'm working on is called Golf Cart Purchases. But there are other worksheets like documentation and May usage and mower purchase that we can click on. And you notice that every time we click on one of these worksheets, the worksheet gets highlighted to let you know that that's the active worksheet. Now, one quick tip you can do is that if you don't want to use your mouse to move between worksheets, you can use the Control Page Up button, and that will move you one worksheet to the left, or the Control Page Down button, and that'll move you one worksheet to the right. And so, now something else that we want to point out here within this spreadsheet is the actual columns and rows. So you see here, this column which I've highlighted by clicking on it is column A. It's one column which is a vertical collection of cells. This column right here that I clicked on, or this row, excuse me, that I clicked on is row 1. It is a horizontal collection of cells. So this unique cell right here that I've clicked on is A1, and you can see that displayed here in the naming field that's in this sort of top left-hand corner. If I click on over here, this is cell E2, and again you see that reference up here at the top. So again, cells have these unique identifying locations based upon their row and column orientation.